And welcome back to the Upside Sports Network. Appreciate you guys joining us for the second night of the Major League Baseball season. Nice game one anyway. We watched the LA Angels. Shohei Ohtani was pitched a gem anyway. Gave up 2 hits over 6 innings, 10 strikeouts. Unfortunately, not enough to get the win as the A's were able to edge them out as they got into the bullpen of the Angels. Tonight, we have the Colorado Rockies looking to duplicate what they did on opening day and defeat the San Diego Padres once again. They defeated them quite handily on opening day. We'll see if they're able to do so once again. Should be an interesting test, though. This is a very dynamic lineup that's still trying to get their pieces working together, obviously. Nick Martinez takes the mound for the Padres, and so we should have a good game on hand tonight. But appreciate you guys joining us. Welcome back, Ryan. Been a while, Mad and Zach. Your White Sox got a good win on opening day. Just checking in on the lineups anyway for the Rockies. They're going to be the road team. It'll be Daza followed by Bryant and Blackman. Bryant, I think, is going to have a dynamic year this year for the Colorado Rockies. I think it was wise for them not to trade him in the offseason when his value was literally the lowest it has ever been in his major league career. And so I think he's going to be able to rebuild some of that value, and maybe they're able to parlay him into some interesting draft or into some interesting prospects, much like they did with the Nolan Arenado deal. Not saying that's the way I would do it for team building perspectives, but we'll see how things go. Appreciate you, Matt and Zach. Setup looks good. Glad to see you announcing games. Yeah, we're going to be doing live games pretty much every night this season. The only time we are not going to be doing a live game is tomorrow. First hitter of the game, Daza, rolls over with the first pitch to short, and he is retired, or second pitch of the game anyway, and we already have one away. Bogarts is the new shortstop for the Padres this year. He is the big free agent acquisition for them. But as I said, Brian, I think, is going to have a monster year. Had a nice opening day, hitting 600 so far through one game. Blackman also had a nice bounce-back game based on what he did last year. Crone is your number 4 hitter, followed by McMahon. I think he's got to take a step for the Rockies this year. Montero is your third baseman. Diaz is your catcher. Castro in left. Tovar at short. Brendan Rodgers is on the IL to start the season for the Rockies. Bryant digging in against Martinez. Takes ball 1. The second pitch here gets a friendly call there. Looks to be a couple of inches off the outside corner, but called a strike either way. In case you guys missed it, all kinds of new rules in Major League Baseball. One thing that's not been implemented yet is robo-umps. That will be something we see next year. Nice hard hit ball into left there by Bryant, and he continues his hot hitting to start the season. But Nick Martinez pitched well for Team USA and then decided to leave early at the end of towards the end of the WBC when he realized he was not going to be taking the ball once again for Team USA. Decided he'd get ready for the season, so we'll see how he performs this year. Kind of bounced around the majors before going international, coming back last year with the Padres, parlayed that into a nice deal, coming over, I want to say 4 years, 20, opted out of the deal after this season, and of course got a nice deal again with the Padres, so we'll see how he performs. Blackman takes strike one. Blackman was another name that was mentioned as far as a trade candidate this offseason. Could be a guy we see moved at the trade deadline now that the money's pretty much all done on his contract. Pops this one behind third, and this one will drop and get behind Soto. Machado, though, flips it into the infield, and runners will now be at first and second. Rockies have something going. Now for the Rockies, they're going to be going with Kyle Freeland to start the game. We'll flip over the Padres lineup real quick. Padres are going to go with Bogaerts to lead off. He had a great game one for the Padres. 3 for 4 with a couple of doubles yesterday. Soto is your number 2 hitter. Machado 3. Nelson Cruz, the new addition there, is the designated hitter. This one up and in to C.J. Cron. Has a word for the home plate umpire. They're still having a discussion. Not often you actually see the home plate umpire willing to give a discussion with a player. But with all the new rules implementing this year, you got to think they're going to be a little bit more lenient on those kinds of things. Cron apparently did not appreciate that up and in pitch. Maybe he thought he was quick pitched. Who knows? But in either event, it's now 2-0. Grooves a fastball right down the middle, and Cron fouls it away. It's now 2-1. But the rest of the lineup for the Padres is going to have Cronenworth at first base. Now that Will Myers is gone, Eric Hosmer is gone, Josh Bell is gone. All the first basemen that they've had over the last couple of years, no longer there. Cronenworth moves over with the addition of Bogaerts. They have Nola is doing the catching today. Kim is at second, Grisham in center, and Azokar is in right. No Tatis Jr. to start the season. Remember, he's finishing up that suspension for PEDs. He will be back on 4/20. Another, I'm going to call it a fastball, 89-mile-an-hour fastball right at the bottom of the zone. The one thing about Nick Martinez, he's very much right over the top. He's not going to give you much deception as far as off to the side or anything like that. But he's in trouble of getting, or he's in danger of getting in some trouble here. That one misses well off the plate, and the bases are loaded now here early for the Rockies. San Diego needs to get off the schneid here pretty quickly here. You don't want to fall too early into a deficit to start the season. You want to get some momentum going, especially with the new pitch clock. You see a lot of teams are now focusing on the momentum aspect of the game more than they really ever have been. JT Realmuto's comments after the game yesterday between the Phillies and Rangers basically said as much, that once the Rangers got that ball rolling in the 4th inning, they scored 9 runs. Doesn't really allow you to catch your breath and slow the game down as you may have in the past to try to alter the momentum of a game as a pitcher. Can't do that anymore. Now you got to keep things going. It's a pace thing. So it's going to take some mental fortitude, some intestinal fortitude, be able to gut things out and get the job done. And Padres are certainly starting off a little rough here. Bases loaded, only 1 out, no runs in as of yet. That one up and in, and it evens the count 1-1 here to McMahon, excuse me. As I mentioned, the Rockies are going to have a nice year, a nice step forward year for McMahon anyway. I keep saying McCann anyway. This one's tapped. Machado flips. Oh no! That's going to be lost on the transfer, it looks like. Bogaerts kind of tripped over the base. The way the defensive lineup there was situated, it looks like Machado kind of took his time, allowing Bogaerts to get over the bag because he was playing so far deep in the hole to cut off or to be in double play depth. Only allow you 15 seconds to challenge. The Rockies quickly say, now let's play on. He did make the catch, but couldn't exactly get the transfer there. Maybe Bogaerts just caught too much of that bag with his heel. But in either event, that's going to be one out. But one run is in either event. Rockies quickly take the advantage. This one's tapped over to third, but foul this time again. Machado getting a lot of activity over there. Montero last year in 53 games, a .233 average, 6 home runs, and 20 RBIs. If you guys are new here to the Upside, make sure you hit that subscribe button, like the video. Really does help us out. I can't tell you enough how much that does help us out. Had a huge audience last night. Really appreciate it. I think we had over 1,200 views last night while we were live anyway. Really appreciate all the support, so thank you guys. Nice block there by the catcher. Martinez has never been an overpowering pitcher, more of a pitch-to-contact type of guy. Welcome in, Daniel. Going to take a look and see if I can get out of work early and possibly do another game for you guys tomorrow afternoon. But in the evening, I will have plans, unfortunately. Hard hit ball up the middle, and that one's going to get through. Another run is going to come in. Blackman scores, and it's now a 2-0 ball game. Rockies quickly taking advantage here. Martinez, as I mentioned, more of a pitch-to-contact guy, and they haven't been able to avoid those balls getting to their guys, and it's just working out in Colorado's favor so far. They're not afraid to go up there and get the bat on the baseball and do what they got to do to get the win. Welcome in, Texas Made. Who's going to win? I'm still going to go San Diego. I just think their offense is just that talented. But it's still early, so maybe this is the time of year the Rockies can kind of take advantage of a team that's expected to be a powerhouse. They're my pick to win the World Series this year. I think their offense has enough clutch players in it to where, early in the season they may have some struggles. They may have, trouble getting out of the gate, which is where Colorado, as I mentioned, could take advantage of them here. But I think as the season gets rolling, their pitching staff's going to start to overwhelm people in that rotation. I do think they have a really good rotation. Do I think they have a top 5 rotation? Not quite at the moment anyway, because, again, Joe Musgrove isn't there. I think that there are a ton of pitching staffs around Major League Baseball that have seen significant improvement. But that lineup is definitely something to fear, and it doesn't even have Fernando Tatis Jr. right now. But we'll see what this lineup looks like once he does come back. Once he does, you're going to be looking at Bogaerts, Soto, Machado, Tatis is probably your top 4. Then you're probably going to have Cronenworth, then Cruz, maybe Carpenter. Remember today is, remember that they did bring in Matt Carpenter from the New York Yankees. Martinez gets the job done there, gets the strikeout, the third out of the inning, but the damage has been done. A crooked number here in the first of the inning here for Colorado, and it's 2-0 before San Diego even steps into the box. But as I mentioned, Bogaerts had a great start to the season. Soto's still looking for his first hit. Cruz, of course, didn't play in the opener, I believe. Cronenworth didn't have exactly a great opener. The offense kind of sputtered yesterday outside of Bogaerts, but we'll see if they're able to get something going. We just saw that the Astros closed the gap a little bit in their game, 3-2 now against the White Sox. That was the final margin yesterday. Welcome in, Austin. Appreciate you for joining us. Got about 15, 17 of you guys in here right now. Feel free to say hi, join the chat, send us a super if you want. We really do appreciate that. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Rockies surprised some people and won the series here against San Diego. Because again, this team I think has a lot of older veterans on it who may or may not be ready for the new rules, while the Rockies have a lot more young players on it who've been adjusting to that in the minor leagues for years. So they may have the advantage early, but I think the Padres' talent overall will ultimately get them to win that division. And as I mentioned, they are my pick to win the World Series this year. If you guys missed our preview show that we did on Wednesday before the beginning of the season, kind of went to, team by team first, breaking down the new players on their team, those kinds of things as to what your team may have to look out for. We also went through our predictions in the American League East. We picked the Toronto Blue Jays to win the division, Twins to win the Central, Astros to struggle out of the gate because of the loss of Jose Altuve, but I think they will gut it out and win the division by either a game or on a tiebreaker against the Mariners. I think the Rangers will finish a couple of games behind them, but they're going to have significant improvements. Possibly 3 of the top 5 rotations are all in the American League West, in my opinion. As far as the National League, I've got the Braves winning the East, Cardinals the Central, and the Padres unseating the Dodgers at the top of the hill in the NL West. Wildcard teams, I picked the Yankees, Mariners, and Rangers to make it in the American League, with the Mets, Phillies, and Dodgers making it in the National League. Bogarts pops this one up deep center, well, sort of deep center anyway, and the play is made there, one away. Nice work there by Freeland. But yes, I picked for the NL side, I picked the Mets, Phillies, and Dodgers to make the wild card, and where World Series picks were the Blue Jays once again against the Padres. Last year I picked the Blue Jays to ultimately win the series. Obviously that didn't work out, but this year I am picking the Padres to ultimately win the series. I think there's too much riding on this team to be able for them to fall on their face once again. Last year I think the gut punch came when Fernando Tatis Jr. was suspended for 80 games because of PEDs. I think the addition of Xander Bogaerts really solidifies this team where they don't have to count on Fernando Tatis Jr. to be Fernando Tatis Jr. until he's ready to be that guy. And I think this team is a lot more well-rounded now with the addition of Bogaerts from a leadership perspective. You have Machado there, able to get that extension done. Now you have to wonder about Soto and his extension, when that will happen. But all in all, the Padres certainly look like they've got the team to beat in the NL West. Dodgers, though, are right there. The Rockies are the best. They're from Colorado. Well, I'll put it this way. The first ever baseball team hat I put on was when I was in Colorado at 1 year old. So I will say I do have some fandom for the Rockies, but they've just never been able to generate any type of pitching staff. Just pitchers who use movement really have never been able to perform well there. That's why I've wondered for years why they haven't really gone with guys who their best asset is their change in velocity. So guys who can throw 100 miles an hour and then have a great off-speed pitch in the same plane, same deception. Pitchers like that I think would do great in Colorado, but they've never really gone with a whole pitching staff of guys like that, as Soto works the one-out walk. But that would be my suggestion for Rockies front office personnel. Is as far as developing a pitching staff, stop trying to go with guys that have a great, slider or a great sinker or anything like that. What you need to worry about is velocity, because you can't really have that same grip on the ball that you do, say, in a lower altitude that you do in Colorado. And that's why for years Colorado pitching has honestly been terrible. That's why you have pretty much the caveat that when you're a Colorado Rockies pitcher, a good ERA for you is a full run higher than anywhere else. And that's because you can't pitch as well in that type of altitude. Lighter air, etc., making it easier to hit, blah, blah, blah. I'm not buying it. To me, it's more about the ability to throw the same pitches at a lower altitude and not being able to throw those same pitches at a higher altitude. We saw that in the playoffs when Greg Maddux would pitch great in the summer months. When you got to the postseason, Greg Maddux pitches were a little bit less effective. Why? Because the grip on the baseball wasn't quite as good, because either A, he was playing in altitude, or B, because of colder temperatures. Indoor games, those kinds of things, he was still just as effective as ever, but Colorado really needs to develop some pitching around some guys with velocity and change in velocity more than anything else. 2-2 now to Machado here. Runner on first is Soto. He reached on a walk. Padres trying to get something going here. Offensively, they didn't really have much yesterday outside of Xander Bogaerts today. So far, a walk for Soto, but we're still early. It's only the bottom of the first inning. Remember, no Fernando Tatis Jr. We'll see how he's received by his teammates once he does come back from that suspension. We saw what a gut punch it was to the organization last year. How much is that going to be held against him by his own teammates? I don't think it really will. I think the front office will hold that against him more than anything else. But he's got that long-term deal, and they understand the talent that he possesses. They just want to make sure he's able to stay on the field and healthy and takes care of himself. We saw he was kind of immature last year in how he handled his injuries before he even came into the season. That's why he missed 3 months of the season before he even got the suspension, because he didn't seek treatment after suffering multiple motorcycle accidents. But Machado fouls that one off. 3-2 is the count right now. Freeland up to 14 pitches. How do I have all this baseball knowledge? I've been following baseball since I was probably, I don't know, old enough to walk, really. It's just a matter of just hearing it once and just storing it away. Some things you'll undoubtedly forget, some things you'll remember. Today I did see I had a acquisition anyway for the Mariners. They acquired Nick Solak. You might remember him from the trade from the Tampa Bay Rays to the Texas Rangers. Ultimately did not work out. He was sent from Texas to Cincinnati in the offseason. Nice catch there. Looks like he almost bobbled it there, but the shortstop makes the catch. 2 away. But Solak goes to the Mariners. We'll see how things ultimately end up. Do you know Team Steel? Team Steel. Not entirely sure what you're trying to say. Nelson Cruz digging in. He was the GM for one of the WBC teams this year. Had a down year at the plate offensively last year. Down year last year, or the year before that as well. But we'll see if he's able to right the ship. He's always been able to hit very well. The 0-1 pitch. Nice hard hit ball, but right to the right fielder. Nice job going the other way, but that's going to be the end of the first inning. 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors for the Rockies. No runs, no hits, no errors for the Padres. Rockies still finished bottom 2 in the division. I agree. I think my official prediction for them was probably to finish 5th, I think. I picked Arizona to finish just ahead of them. I think they've got enough talent in their outfield that they'll be able to jettison some of that outfield talent and be able to get some better infielders. What team do you prefer to win? I don't really have a dog in the fight, but my favorite team, as I've mentioned before, is the Texas Rangers. But I've rooted for a number of teams pretty much since I've been watching baseball. Grew up with the Minnesota Twins, Texas Rangers, Atlanta Braves, Houston Astros back in the day, anyway, and the Chicago Cubs. Do have a soft spot for the Padres every now and again. Same thing for the Rockies. But there's a lot of former Rangers on the Padres team right now, so I'd probably say if I had to pick one that I'd be pulling for, I guess I would pick the Padres, but it's not by any stretch of, a definitive, hey, go Padres. I just want to see some good baseball. We saw kind of a quick but boring game, I would say, last night between the Angels and A's. Had a lot of viewership with you guys, but Ohtani was pretty much the only thing really going in that game worth watching. 6 innings, 2 hits, 10 strikeouts. He was dominant. But the Angels really couldn't get much going. Gio Urshela had a nice debut for the Angels. The A's were pretty much unwatchable offensively for the first 6-7 innings of that game, and then finally got something going in the 8th, and that's where they took the lead, and of course, they ran from there. But the Angels, their issue coming into the season was their bullpen. We talked about that before the game yesterday, talked about how their back end of the rotation was going to be a problem, and they were going to have to silence some critics. Well, game 1, those critics got a lot louder. Most notably me. I'm not a believer in the Angels. I never have been, never, pretty much the entire time since Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani have been there. They had the highest expectations for a team that really never had pitching. They go out there and make the big splashy moves. The Josh Hamiltons, the Albert Pujols of the world, the Justin Uptons of the world, those types of things. The Anthony Rendon, and Rendon's got a whole legal issue that he's about to have to deal with, by the way, when he tried to punch a fan last night before the game. But we'll see how things work out for him. But the Angels, I am not picking them to finish in the top 3 of the West, in case you can't tell. It's a baseball team. Not familiar with it. Do you think he will come to San Diego? Who will come to San Diego? You know you can watch Colorado Rockies in Colorado? You know you can watch Rockies in Colorado? Yeah? Martinez climbs the ladder there. It's now 1-2 on Tovar. That one a little high there. Evens the count 2-2. One away here. Number 9 hole hitter. It'll be Daza next. And should one of those guys reach, it will be Bryant. Appreciate you guys joining us once again. We'll try to pick a game earlier in the day tomorrow. Sounds like I might be actually getting off of work 5 hours early tomorrow. They're cutting back my overtime this week, so at least save a little bit of money for the company, I suppose. So we'll see. But we'll see which game we might do tomorrow for you guys. We'll try to do one probably around noon, 1 o'clock, somewhere in there. I have to take a look and see who's playing, but that's going to be the second out of the inning that's popped into short right center field. And it'll be Daza next. But Sunday we'll be doing a doubleheader for you guys. Yankees and Giants, Guardians and Mariners. Originally from South Dakota, but I live in Texas nowadays. Been here for 20-something years now. You cannot watch the Rockies in Colorado. Interesting. You have the MLB.TV thing. It's because you're in their blackout zone. That's why, even though I've got MLB.TV, I can't watch the Rangers game or the Astros games on there. I have to, actually get the channel. What do I think the record the Padres could end up getting? I'm picking them to win the division. It's going to be a little bit more contested division, I should say, than it has been in the past. I'd say the Rockies probably finish in the 60 win total. I think the Diamondbacks have a chance to break 70. Giants, I think, are going to finish just beneath 80 wins. Dodgers, I think, are going to break 90. And so if I had to guess, I would probably say for the Padres, I'm going to guess probably around 101, 102 wins this year for the Padres. But that's, of course, dependent on their starting pitching, if they can stay healthy. If they start missing a few starters like they're doing right now with Joe Musgrove, then we're probably looking mid-60s, or excuse me, mid-90s, 96, sorry. 2-2 here. Daza pops this one into short left. Soto on the jog makes the catch, whips it into the crowd, and we go to the bottom of the second. It'll be Cronenworth, Nola, and Kim for the Padres in the bottom of the second. Appreciate you guys joining us. Hit that like and subscribe if you haven't already. You're from Houston. Cool. As I mentioned, I think the Houston Astros are really going to struggle the next couple of months, so don't judge the Astros too much on their results over the next couple of months. But I think they'll probably be in 4th place in the American League West by the end of May. But once they get Altuve back, I think that's when the Astros are really going to start getting things rolling. Altuve really does a lot of things from a leadership perspective, from a lineup diversity perspective. Really gives them an element they don't really have from a lot of other hitters in that lineup. Really high on base percentage type of player. And so once they get him back, I think they're going to really start to take off. I still pick them to win the division. As I mentioned, they're going to finish with either a tie break to win the division, or they're going to finish one game ahead of the Mariners in my estimation. I think the Rangers are probably going to finish a couple of games behind that. But that's kind of my 1, 2, 3 in the AL West. They kind of show highlights here of last year's postseason. Darvish is healthy. Musgrove, though, is on the IL. I think Darvish is healthy anyway. I haven't seen anything otherwise. I know Verlander's on the IL to start the season for the Mets, and I still find it funny how even the New York Post, Joel Sherman, is still saying, even with Verlander being on the IL to start the season, he would still rather have that deal, no matter what, over Jacob deGrom. And I get it from a perspective as far as managing your finances, etc. DeGrom is a more significant investment, but we're talking about $37 million a year versus $43 million a year, and that's average annual value of the contract. Now, of course, if the deal works out really well for the Rangers, this could turn into a 6-year deal around the $220 million range. If that works in that way, or if the deal works out in that way for the Rangers, they'd be more than happy to pay that kind of money for a guy like Jacob deGrom. But I just still find it hilarious how much they're giving Verlander credit for taking the short-term deal. I mean, they're the New York Mets. They're giving away money like it's going out of style. And you can't keep the best pitcher you've ever developed? Come on, man. I get that he's had nagging injuries, one thing after another, but none of it is career deciding. None of it is something that's going to continue to pop up. It's a lat here, it's a pull there, it's a groin strain there, it's all those types of issues. But it's never been one consistent thing, and that's something that, while it does worry you of the time missed, it's not like Justin Verlander. We missed an entire season because of Tommy John, and comes back for one season at age 40, wins the Cy Young, but now to start the season after going and winning that Cy Young, only 1 year removed from that Tommy John, he starts the season on the injured list. Now, it's nothing serious from what we've heard so far, but it sounds like he's at least going to miss probably 3 starts to begin the season. Jacob deGrom made his start. Of course, he still wasn't fully up and healthy, or fully up to speed anyway, because nobody really is to start the season. But he got through 3 2/3. Was probably the hardest hit he's ever been. But again, it's still early. We saw a lot of offense in that game from both sides. Nola got hit hard. The bullpens on both sides got hit pretty hard. And I imagine over the length of a season, as long as deGrom is able to avoid a major injury, I think the Rangers will be more than happy with whatever they get out of deGrom. So I'm just curious to see if anybody will ever eat crow as far as, hey, the guy we expected to be on the injured list first in deGrom is not, and he's healthy, gets through his first start unscathed as far as health, which is the main thing for the Rangers, trying to get his pitch count up there in the beginning few starts of the season. Whereas the guy that the Mets brought in, that's 40 years old, whereas deGrom's only 33, 34 years old, he's still healthy. Verlander's not. But Arizona or Dodgers, I'll pick the Dodgers. I mean, heck, it's the Dodgers. They clobbered them last night. 1-2 here to Nola. Games are moving significantly quicker. Pops this one up and out of play. 1-2 now. The 1-2 here, well off the outside corner. If you guys are new to the Upside, we cover Major League Baseball, the NFL, the NBA, and the NHL. Try to drop you guys some short videos throughout the week. Keep you guys updated on some of the bigger stories that are happening right now. The NBA, are the Mavericks going to be able to stop their free fall in time to be able to make the play-in tournament? Nola pops out in foul territory to Crone, and there's 2 away here in the bottom of the second. On the NFL side, will they finally get the deal done for Aaron Rodgers before the draft? Of course, the draft is going to be coming up towards the end of the month. We'll see about doing a baseball game and the draft that night. We'll see as far as how the selections go. We might do a baseball game and kind of break down the draft as we go. But that'll be Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I think actually, since there's not a late game on Thursday, I wonder if baseball made that intentional so that the first round of the draft could be pretty much take up all the eyes. So we might just do that for our late thing on the 27th. That's the only day that I did not have a game planned for that evening. This one's popped up. Looks like they don't have an eye on it, though. They lost it in the lights, I guess. And Kim's going to land at second base. The right fielder had a beat on it, but he was coming from so far away. He made a dive at it, but couldn't quite get there. Daza, the center fielder, just all he could do is just put his hands out and say, help me, and couldn't get anything. Padres will be dangerous when they get Tatis back. I agree. I think they need his juice, his energy. This team is going to have some good veteran leadership. They're going to need some actual spark, that kind of a thing, and I think that's exactly what he could bring to this lineup. NHL playoffs are right around the corner. I think this coming week we're going to have a really good head-to-head tilt against the Bruins and Devils, two of the best teams out east. Grisham is up there 0-1, hit 184 last year, was dynamic in the postseason though. 17 home runs last year. Umpire walked all the way, 3/4 of the way to the mound there to explain something to Freeland. Not something you see every day. These umpires are being very, very good as far as explaining the new rules and explaining why things are happening. Really interesting to see the way this home plate umpire is managing this game so far. The 0-1 pitch is popped up. It's going to drift a little further out into left field, but resting comfortably underneath it is the left fielder and makes the catch. 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors for the Rockies. No runs, 1 hit, no errors for the Padres. And we go to the top of the third. 2-0 our score. Appreciate you guys joining us. In case you guys are new to us, one site you can always get a lot of great information from is going to be MLBTradeRumors.com. In case you want to kind of read up on a lot of the different stories that happen, in case you can't watch a video for whatever reason, can't have the sound on or whatever. But as I mentioned, Anthony Rendon is being investigated for an incident that occurred before yesterday's game, where he apparently got into an argument with an A's fan where he apparently thought he was being called a expletive and did not appreciate that. Turned, went to the fan, grabbed him by the shirt, kind of jostled him around a little bit while the fan basically said, I didn't say nothing, I didn't say nothing. Took a swing at him, didn't make contact, of course, but that's kind of the end of it. There was a 12-second video of it. There's no video of what happened before that led up to this, though. But Major League Baseball is investigating the incident. I'm imagining we should see at least a suspension for Anthony Rendon. Legal ramifications could also be had here as well, just for Rendon going up to the guy, grabbing the guy, jostling him around, and taking a swing. Even if he didn't land a punch, he still threw the punch, and that is always something that authorities are going to want to investigate. And so we should see some type of resolution with this. Probably sooner rather than later. It's not a difficult situation for them to investigate. I mean, they have all the ballpark security cams, I'm sure, to be able to figure out what exactly went on. So I don't expect this to be a lengthy investigation, but I would expect some type of suspension for Anthony Rendon coming down from Major League Baseball by itself. But as far as the legal ramifications, we'll see if something happens there. You see just down at the bottom of the screen here, the White Sox had a 3-2 lead. It is now gone. It is a 5-3 lead late in the game for the Astros now. Martinez is back on the mound. Ball 1 to Bryant. Bryant had a great opening day, 1 for 1 so far today. Scored a run as well. Hard hit ball, but right to Machado. Couple of hops, whisks it on to first base, and Cronenworth, the new first baseman for the Padres, makes the catch and retires Bryant. Well, maybe they just took away the 3 runs, according to the app. We shall see. Let's go ahead and check in on that, actually. Nope. It is indeed 5-3. Yordan Alvarez gets a double, scores 3. Very nice job. Jake Diekman is on the mound. Blackman takes that one high. 1-1 to even the count there. Martinez already up to 41 pitches now. In case you guys are wondering, this is the MLB Game Day that we're using for our screen here. They changed it up quite a bit from what it was last year. I really don't like this presentation. I mean, half the picture's obscured by the scoreboard. I don't really like what they did to it. It's kind of terrible, honestly. Last year's format was so much better. Blackman lifts this one into short right. Long run over there, but making the catch is Azokar. 2 away in the top of the third. C.J. Cron will be next. Should he reach, it'll be McMahon. As they show Cron's home run off of Martinez last year. First pitch, off the outside corner by about 4 or 5 inches. Cron worked a walk in his first plate appearance. That one finishes beneath the zone, but did he offer at it? No. Going back to that Rendon story, we mentioned during the game that in his first at-bat, Rendon seemed more than a little amped, I should say, to say the least, about the strikeout that he received that ended the threat for the Angels. And we mentioned at the time that he had some words that he barked at both the catcher, the home plate umpire, and the pitcher as he kind of walked off the field. I guess tensions were kind of running high before the game. That's obviously why you kind of saw him kind of having a little bit more fire than most other players do on opening day, and just kind of gives you some context for what actually happened in the game. That one finds the zone, and it's now 3-2. Martinez trying to get through the third here unscathed. The 3-2 pitch. Off the outside corner, ball 4. Cron has walked twice now in the game. Looks like the Mets dropped their first game of the season, losing on the road to the Mariners. Split the series so far. Welcome back, Cobra. I know you're a Padres fan. I think I know why you're struggling right now against the Rockies, and that's because it's early in the season. I think this Padres team is built for more of the longer summer months, those types of things. Allow those big behemoths of the lineup to really get going, whereas this younger team for the Rockies is able to get going a little bit quicker because they're used to these type of rules from playing with them in the minors. McMahon kind of rolls over one to first base, and that's the third out of the inning. Through 2.5, Rockies 2, Padres nothing. Other scores from around the league. We mentioned that it was a 5-3 game. It's still 5-3. Houston over the White Sox right now. The only game that's actually finished today is that Mets and Marlins game. Mariners and Guardians are scoreless. Dodgers and Diamondbacks are scoreless. Well, yeah, I mean, it's an inferior opponent, but I mean, it's a division rival. You're going to struggle against your division rival more than most other teams. I should say rival loosely with that one, by the way. Division opponents got a lot more comfortable in their approach to how they want to handle you, etc. Even though you have the overwhelming talent, just sometimes they just know how to attack your lineup or know how to attack a certain pitcher you have. Some days are going to be better than others, and that's just the nature of the beast. Mariners score 1 there. Bottom of the first there against the Guardians. They were scoreless last night until the bottom of the 8th when they had a 3-run home run by Ty France as they got their first win of the season. Some of the most interesting divisions this year in baseball, I believe, are going to be the American League East, the American League West, and the NL East. I think the Dodgers and Padres are really the only really big story out there in the National League outside of the NL East. So we'll see how things kind of sort out. But those are the divisions I would be keeping my eyes on if I were just a casual fan. Rangers should be much improved with pretty much an entirely new starting rotation. Mariners have added to their lineup, bringing in Teoscar Hernandez. Azokar swings at the first pitch and flies out to right. Bryant makes the catch. We see in the studio update for MLB Network anyway, the wall ball that Yordan Alvarez hit to make it that 5-3 game. Remember, the White Sox are playing without Liam Hendriks to begin the season after he had his diagnosis this offseason. He will be out for the foreseeable future, but it sounds like he's progressing rather nicely as far as his treatment is going, and we may see him back before the All-Star break. I think the White Sox would love to have him back in their bullpen. There was a lot of conversation about him possibly being available this offseason via trade. I think they probably would have moved him as far as a cost savings move to try to distribute those dollars differently, because their bullpen, they have a ton of different options back there already. Hendricks was kind of a redundancy back there. As good as he is, he would have been the best trade chip they would have had to both save money and bring in whatever they need in return for him. You were at Padres opening day yesterday. It was cool. Did you enjoy the rain? Saw it rained a fair amount on you. Bogart's 2-2 now. Freeland trying to keep this game scoreless here in the bottom of the third, at least for the Padres anyway. Fouls that one off and it remains 2-2. We'll check the schedule here in between innings just to kind of see what games we could possibly do for y'all tomorrow. Maybe y'all could vote and tell me which game you would like to see. Give y'all a couple of choices anyway. Swung on and missed. Nice off-speed pitch on the outside corner. Bogart's fooled by that one. Very late swing on that one. And 2 away here in the bottom of the third. Juan Soto got a walk in his first at-bat. Well, it seemed like every time they flashed to the Padres game, it was an absolute downpour. From what I saw anyway. We did the A's and Angels game last night, so we only got to see little snippets of it from live look-ins, that kind of thing. Soto rolls over the first pitch. McMahon makes the play, flips onto first, and Soto is easily retired. 1-2-3 go the Padres here in the bottom of the third. And after 3, 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors for the Rockies. No runs, 1 hit, no errors for the Padres. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at what's going to happen tomorrow as far as the schedule. Let me pull that up for us. All right, so for some of the early games, looks like we're going to have White Sox in Houston. That could be a very good one to watch. Toronto versus St. Louis, that would be another good one. Always tempted to do my Rangers, but I want to kind of have some time to get ready. But let's see. Nothing else really popping out at me. So, give you all the choice. We can do White Sox and Astros, or we can do Blue Jays and Cardinals. Not really feeling the Brewers and Cubs, but be an interesting one between either of those two. So we'll pick between those the rest of the way. See which one y'all ultimately decide that y'all want to do. Stopped by the 6th inning. Okay. Yeah, I've got, as I mentioned at the end of the season or during basketball season, I guess I should say, and during our winter meetings coverage, they had pretty good seats available. Or well, I say pretty good. They had seats available for $10. As if whether or not they were good or not, I'll leave up to you guys. But I got tickets for 5 different baseball games this year to go to the Rangers. I will be going on the 21st, so obviously I can't be doing a game that evening. But we shall see what happens if I get home in time, which I doubt. But I don't think that's an evening game anyway. I think it's a bobblehead night too, is why I was getting those tickets. But got tickets for that one, and then I got a game in June. I think I'm going to 2 in September and another one in August. Went to a Dallas Stars game last month. Or this month anyway. It was pretty freaking awesome. Got to see Sidney Crosby play. Not a Penguins fan or Crosby fan, but anytime you get to watch one of the best at the sport ever to do it, you gotta appreciate when they finally, when they do succeed. And even if against my team, it was nice to see Crosby score. Stars still got the win. I got the bobblehead for one of my favorite players on the Stars. Martinez bounces that one in there, and it's 2-2 here to Montero, leading off here in the top of the 4th. He will be followed by Diaz and Castro. Right at the bottom of the zone, that's when you know Nick Martinez is on. When he's hitting the corners, when he's pinpoint with his control. Nice pitch there. Looks like Martinez is really settled in here. We'll see how far he goes in this game. He's up to 57 pitches right now. First pitch, Diaz kind of grounds this one softly to short. Bogarts easily flips to first. Cronenworth makes the play, and 2 away. Do I know GCU baseball? GCU? I'm drawing a blank, my friend. I see the G and I'm thinking Grapefruit League, and I know that's not right, so. Nice pitch right at the bottom of the zone. Castro couldn't believe it. The set by Martinez and the pitch. Popped up, jammed him into short center. Gliding over is Grisham. Makes the play. And that's the end of the top half of the 4th. We go to the bottom half. It will be, I believe, Machado, Cruz, and Cronenworth coming up. Thank you guys for joining us once again. Colorado Rockies looking to stun the Padres once again. They're already up 2-0 here. Padres really haven't had much going offensively. Martinez settled down since the first inning. Really struggled in that first inning with his command. Seems to have finally gotten some of that command back over the last couple of innings as he's gotten deeper into this one. We saw that with Ohtani last night in his start. Only gave up the 2 hits, 10 strikeouts, got through 6. Maybe we'll see something similar here with Nick Martinez against the Rockies. Looks like Freeland's going to be coming back out again. Through 3 innings so far, he's struck out 1. Decent strike to ball ratio. As I mentioned, it's going to be Machado here first. Takes strike one. We mentioned robo umps were going to be coming probably next year. They're going to be experimenting with it all across minor league baseball this year. I know we had some discussion about that last night about, well, what does that leave for the umps to do? Well, they've got plenty to worry about right now. Machado lifts this one into center. And he is easily retired there on 2 pitches. Nice work there for Freeland. Daza was able to make the play on this one and see the ball all the way into his glove. Rockies are going to have kind of an up and down year, I'd imagine. As I mentioned, they're probably going to finish around 60, 65, maybe 70 wins if they have a decent season. But for me, it's all about getting growth out of those younger players in their lineup and also finally discovering a strategy that works for your starting pitching. And until you do that, I think the Rockies are going to continue to struggle year after year after year. Cruz takes ball 1. Another soft fly ball into right for Cruz. And 2 away here. Freeland working quickly. Game started at 8:40, 8:45 we'll call it. We're at 50 minutes right now, and we're almost through 4 innings of play. This might be a 2-hour baseball game at this rate. Cronenworth takes strike 1. What do you guys think of the pitch clock so far? You a fan of it? You not a fan? You like the shorter games? You like the faster pace of play? You like the less dead time in the game, if you will? Cronenworth kind of rolls over this one. McMahon, a little bit easier play this time than the last inning, and the 3rd out of the inning. We go to the top of the 5th, 2-0 our score. I will say this is probably one of the fastest games I've seen through 4 innings played ever in my entire life. It's pretty impressive, I will say that. You're going to see low-scoring games be finished in right at about 2 to 2.5 hours. Higher scoring games finishing between 2.5 to 3.5 hours, depending on how far into the game they go. Of course, you still have the extra inning regular season rules, etc. The Manfred Man, if you will. Looks like the Astros are going to be taking a lead into the 9th inning here shortly. 5-3 at the moment. They show highlights of Shohei Ohtani from the World Baseball Classic. Saw some debate on MLB Network today about how much he's actually going to get in free agency. One of my favorite baseball reporters is Joel Sherman. I know I give him grief for both the way he and John Heyman both handled the Jacob deGrom aspect along with Justin Verlander. You could clearly see the New York slant to their writing, and I get it. They're New York Post reporters. Of course, they're going to try to take that side of it. But for me, I just think they could have done a little bit more service to both Verlander and deGrom for how they handled it. They put a lot on what Verlander means to this team, his leadership abilities being better than that of deGrom. I mean, deGrom and Verlander, while they're both good veteran pitchers, neither one of them is really like teaching, the art of pitching on the side every single day when they're not pitching. I get they're going to be a good teammate, and every now and again they're going to show, a trick of the trade, maybe something they've learned over the years. As we get to see a leadoff base hit here. Nice work there by the number 9 hitter Tovar. It'll be Daza next. followed by Bryant. Guardians take a 3-1 lead in the top of the second over the Mariners. Nice work there. That one finishes well inside, and it's 1-0 to Daza. But they had an interesting discussion today on MLB Network about what Ohtani could ultimately get and what he's worth, really. A little tapper here over the mound. Easy play is to first, but that does move the runner into scoring position now with less than 2 outs. Base hit by Bryant here could make it a 3-0 game. You mentioned how they have been struggling against the NL West teams for the Padres. Well, they've performed very well against the Giants and Diamondbacks, but the Rockies, they're about 500, a little bit under that, only 4 games under 500. That's the division for you. And then the Dodgers, of course, have just had their number. So we'll see if they can kind of turn the tables a little bit this year. But as far as the discussion around Ohtani, I love the discussion they had because it kind of crystallized what Ohtani means both on the mound and at the plate. Because you basically have Carlos Rodon on the mound with Austin Riley as kind of their comp. Bryant kind of rolls over this one. This one will get the runner to third, but 2 away now. But you're talking about a guy who's probably worth, $30 million just for the pitching side, another 25 for the hitting side. You put them together, you get $55 million. But here's the thing. Instead of just having that $30 million devoted to Carlos Rodon and another 25 dedicated to Austin Riley and having 2 different players where if one goes down due to injury, you still have the other one. If Ohtani goes down due to injury, it's not just one of those guys out of the lineup, it's both. So while he's really good and really talented and gives you quite the advantage in the lineup when he's healthy, when you don't have him in the lineup, you have to have enough there to be able to weather the storm when he's not in the lineup. So I really like that point of analysis to where you kind of take one more step into it. You look at the Steve Cohens of the world that's not afraid to spend money. I know the Dodgers are freeing up all kinds of money to be able to go out there and offer him a $50 million contract. Dodgers really have to do that because their well is starting to run a little bit drier than it has been in the past. They're depending more and more upon their aging veterans like Betts, like Freeman, like Smith. Their development wheel is still producing some talent. They still have some really good blue chip players in their system, but they no longer have the guys like Corey Seager coming, Jock Peterson coming, Julio Urias coming, Walker Buehler coming. They don't have players like that coming anymore. And so they're going to have to spend in free agency until they right the ship in their farm system once again. Not saying again that they don't have talent there, just saying that there should be some more talent coming soon. The 2-1 here to Blackman. Martinez sets, and oh my goodness. Absolutely hammered by Blackman. That was a no-doubt home run. Easy jog around the bases. Blackman takes a look to see where it landed. 2-run home run here in the top of the 5th. And the Rockies stretch their advantage, double their advantage, to 4-0 in the top of the 5th. Ouch. If you're a Padres team, you struggle in the opener, 7-2 loss. You're struggling getting things going offensively here in Game 2. Martinez had pitched well after the first inning anyway, after he kind of settled himself down, but that swing doubles the advantage for the Rockies, and now they've got some room to breathe. Crone, who's been walked twice so far, pitch that's been called a strike and a ball in this game is going for a strike on that one. Martinez trying to keep that ball down, working quickly. This one just off the plate inside. Robo-ump, I think, calls both of those a ball, but it is the umpire making the balls and strike calls today. Padres are really going to have to throw this thing into gear here if they're going to try to gut this one out. Swing and a miss as he climbed the ladder on him out above the zone. But the damage is done. Charlie Blackman gets the home run. 4 runs on 5 hits, no errors for the Rockies. No runs, 1 hit, no errors for the Padres through 4.5. Looks like the Astros have stretched their advantage to 6-3 now. Still scoreless in LA. But as far as that Ohtani conversation we were just having, I'm just curious to see what teams are willing to go out there and spend and continue to spend after they bring in a guy like Ohtani. Teams like the Mets and Dodgers, I think, are shoo-ins for that. Yankees might be at their spending threshold already for this season. If they bring in Ohtani next season, I don't think they're going to go much higher than that at all. So I just wonder how top heavy they're going to want to go with their position player and top end salary pool, if you will. How many young guys are they really willing to really willing to have in their everyday lineup? Team like the Mets, I think they could just continue to spend and spend and spend and spend and spend. And for the Dodgers, I think they've already freed up the money to go after a guy like Ohtani. But I just wonder about their ability to continue to invest in this team. They should still be able to bring up some young guys like Bush, etc. They should have Gavin Lux back next year after injury. They should still have some nice pieces there. I love their catching tandem there. But I don't think he's long for the Angels. I'll put it that way. I think Ohtani's going to go somewhere else. But I'm curious to see if other teams are going to shy away from the sweepstakes of Shohei Ohtani. Because as important as he is to your team, a team like, say, the Texas Rangers, who could use a starting pitcher next year because they could lose Martin Perez in free agency. They could lose Andrew Heaney as well in free agency. They could look for a starting pitcher. Nice play there by Freeland. An athletic play here on the first pitch of the bottom of the fifth. What a play by Kyle Freeland. Just a slow roller down the third base line. Kind of flipped it over his shoulder. Kind of fell to the ground as he made the throw. Leaping into the air to make the throw. And Crone, just a nice stretch there to get the job done at first base. What a play there. And I'm sure the umpire is going to kind of give him time to gather himself after that one. Yeah, he's still kind of gathering himself. I wonder if they're going to bring the trainer out here just to give him some time. Looks like they are. This is a smart strategy, I think, for any team this year because of the pitch clock and all that's concerned in it. You don't want your pitcher to necessarily be sprinting down the line, making a play, and then having 30 seconds to deliver the next pitch. Right now, if I'm on the strategy side of things, you don't want to necessarily see guys being injured or wasting time on the pitch like they do in soccer. But when you have a situation like this, you don't want Kyle Freeland going out there and trying to rip a 95-mile-an-hour fastball 30 seconds after he literally jumped in the air, landed on the ground, all those kinds of things. You want to give him some time, and here's his manager kind of giving him some time to gather himself after that one. Ump's going to be friendly here and allow him to throw a warm-up pitch. He says, yeah, I'm good. We all knew he was good, but it looks like he just kind of was gassed after that one. I mean, it is early in the season for everybody, but what a play by Kyle Freeland. That's one of the plays that's probably going to be on your highlight reel tonight. I don't think it's game over as of yet because, again, bullpens in the beginning of the season are a little bit more mercurial. They don't have Daniel Bard back there right now, I believe, because of injury. And this is a very potent Padres lineup more than anything else. That's the biggest reason. I mean, just look at the Rockies. A bloop and a blast there got the job done. 1-1 now to Kim as that one finds the zone on the outside corner. Guardians still with the 3-1 advantage right now over the Mariners. This one coming on. Daza unable to keep the ball in front of him, and it's going to roll back all the way deeper into center. Will he try to stretch it to 3? No. He stops at second base. Kim once again gets the job done on a kind of a short, hot play there in front of Daza. That's twice now he's done that. And Kim is 2 for 2. He's been the one bright spot offensively in this game so far for the Padres. And they have something going here with 1 out in the bottom of the 5th. It'll be Trent Grisham, who had a great postseason for the Padres this past season. Struggled offensively during the year, but Bryant did a nice job getting the backing up Daza on that one to be able to get things done. Keep Kim at second and avoid from keep him from getting into third, less than 90 feet from home with less than 2 outs. Grisham takes strike one there. Swing and a miss on that one, and it's quickly 0-2. I mentioned how quickly the game's moving. Well, here we are in the bottom of the fifth, and it's literally been about an hour now. Maybe a hair over an hour, and we've had 4 runs scored. No pitching changes as of yet. The 0-2 here to Grisham. Just a little high and outside. 1-2. Padres trying to get something going here in the bottom of the fifth against Freeland. Daz has tried to make a couple of spectacular plays on Kim of the Padres, and both of them have landed in front of his glove. He has the only 2 hits of the game so far for the Padres. Now even at 2-2. Tapped off his foot, remains 2-2. Appreciate you guys joining us. If you haven't already hit that like button, please do so. Really does help us out. Can't tell you how much it does help us. So if you wouldn't mind, please hitting that like and subscribe button. We really do appreciate it. If you want to ask us a question, tell us your prediction, whatever the case may be, join the conversation. Here's the 2-2 once again. Popped foul again. Should one of these next 2 hitters reach between Grisham and Azokar, it would be Bogaerts next. I think the Padres would really like to get that lineup turned around there. Because if they can get Bogaerts up there, they might really have something. And they need something to start breaking their way after that home run by Blackman in the top half of the fifth. Curious to see if they bring out Nick Martinez for one more inning. He might have enough pitches left in that arm. But we are still at 2-2 after he taps that one foul. And we'll do it again. The set by Freeland. And the pitch. This one's popped high into the air. Plenty of room, though, in left field. This will not advance the runner, I imagine. Kim jogs back into second easily. And now 2 away. It'll be up to the number 9 hitter, Azokar, once again to try to drive in a run, get a base hit, reach, get on base somehow, so that the top of the lineup can at least try to drive in a run. Bogaerts, though, is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Soto's 0 for 1 with a walk. Machado 0 for 2. Cruz 0 for 2. Cronenworth 0 for 2. Nola 0 for 2. The set by Freeland. And the pitch. Wow, that pitch was about 2 or 3 inches inside, is called a strike. I guess when you're a rookie, you don't get those kind of calls your way, but still. Robo-ump clearly calls that one a ball. Either way, good curveball to at least get the home plate umpire fooled as to where it crosses the plate, etc. It's now 0-2. Padres just trying to keep this inning going. See if they can start some type of comeback, start clawing into that lead. Allen well north of the zone, 1-2. When runners are on base, you get 20 seconds to try to throw that pitch. When a runner is not on base anyway, you have 15. The 1-2. Jammed him once again. This one's foul down the first base line, and it will reach the seats. 1-2 is still the count. Azokar looking for his first hit of the season. The 1-2 pitch. Infield shaded around towards the third base side. Makes some contact, but very weak contact. Rolls out to shortstop, and that will end the threat for the Padres. Through 5, it's 4 runs on 5 hits, no errors for the Rockies. No runs on 2 hits, no errors for the Padres. Good competitive game so far. It looks like the Astros do indeed hold on for their first victory of the season. 6-3 over the White Sox. Make sure you guys join us tomorrow as we will be doing a 1 o'clock game, either between the White Sox and Astros or the Blue Jays and Cardinals. Let us know in the comment section which one you would like to see us do. And then on Sunday, we'll have a doubleheader for you guys. Yankees and Giants, Guardians and Mariners. Monday, we will have the Angels and Mariners. Tuesday, we'll have Texas against Baltimore for the first time this season. We will also have, earlier in the day, I believe, Arizona and San Diego. I think it's San Diego they play. I can't see because it's all the way across the room, but looks like Arizona is the one that we'll be doing earlier on in the season. Going to try to get through every single team early on this season just so we can kind of get every single team covered. That way, if you're a fan of a certain team, at least we cover one of your games. As we get into the later months of the year, we want to make sure we cover the best game that is available. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, join us early, and hopefully, if you're a team that's going to be say they're a team that's rebuilding, like the Colorado Rockies, that's going to be going through a tough season, you'd imagine. We're going to go ahead and watch one of their games right now, but we may not cover quite as many Rockies games as the season goes along. Padres figure to be in contention with the level of talent they have on their roster. Probably end up doing a few more Padres games than Rockies overall. McMahon fouls that one off, and it's 0-1. We're in the top of the 6th here. We're about an hour and 10 minutes, hour 15 into the game so far. Martinez is indeed back out there for another inning of work. Does not get the call on that one, and it's 1-1. He's got 3 strikeouts so far in the game. Has given up 4 earned runs. Taps this one off his foot, and it's 1-2. Another tapper foul, and it stays 1-2 again. McMahon trying to hang tough here. Martinez kind of grips it and rips it here. He relies a lot on command. If he doesn't have his command, if he misses over the middle of the plate, that's when you can see some damage being done. Like we saw last inning with Blackman. Got his second hit of the ball game, a 2-run home run, doubling the advantage for the Rockies. That one misses the zone, and it's 2-2 now. If you guys are new here to the Upside, we cover Major League Baseball, the NFL, the NBA, and the NHL. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Follow us on Twitter at UpsideSN. Keep up to date on all the latest from your favorite team, from your favorite sport. And we'll definitely be doing quite a few more live baseball games this year than we did last. Looks like we're going to have some type of a pause here, discussion between the home plate and first base umpires. Now we got the whole conclave together. Even the umpires are still trying to iron out the rules, trying to understand what needs to happen in certain situations. Looks like there might have been a player who requested time and may have not had the ability to. Looks like the catcher requested time. These are kind of things you're going to have to look forward to for the first month of the season. Just ironing out the new rules, whether or not, who can call time and when. Catcher called time on that one. Looks like Bud Black does not like the explanation here. Doesn't sound like they're going to give us a ball call here. Doesn't look like the catcher should have been able to call time there is what it looks like they're trying to say. And Black's like, really? You're not going to enforce the rule the way it should be? I guess the home plate umpire did grant it, so you can't really give him a ball call because you granted it, so maybe that's the discussion they're having. Either way, it's still 2-2. Hard hit ball directly into center field, but on the run, making the catch on the track is the center fielder Grisham, and that's the first out of the inning. Good at bat though for McMahon. Has an RBI in the game today. But it'll be up to Montero to get things going here in the top of the sixth for the Rockies. 4-0 is the advantage as they look to start their season 2-0 against my team that I picked for the World Series to win the World Series in the San Diego Padres. Not exactly the start I envisioned them getting off to, especially against a team I don't exactly see factoring into the wild card race, let alone for the division crown. But every year there's one team that certainly outperforms their projections. Could it be the Rockies? Maybe, but I don't think it will be. I think it's just early season doldrums for the Padres offense. Swing and a miss. And Montero is down on strikes. Nice piece of pitching there by Martinez. I think that one literally bounced on home plate, completely fooling the hitter. 2 away here in the top of the sixth. Swing and a miss by Diaz, way out in front on that off-speed pitch. 79-mile-an-hour breaking ball. Diaz so far today 0 for 2, strikeout and a ground out. That one misses well beneath the zone, and it's 1-1. The 1-1 pitch, grounded here to short. Bogarts takes it on 3 hops, flips it on to first, and that's the third out of the inning. We go to the bottom of the sixth. 4-0 is still our score. Padres hoping to get something going here. Looks like it will be Bogarts, Soto, and Machado to get things going here in the bottom of the sixth. They really need to get their offense into gear now. Your run scoring in the game. First inning, the Rockies put up a couple of runs, kind of manufactured some run scoring there, loaded the bases. Got a couple of runs scored off of productive outs and a base hit. And then in the fifth inning, a two-run home run by Charlie Blackman, and that's pretty much where we stand. The only offensive note for the Padres is Kim, their second baseman, had a couple of nice, I'll say, line drives into center that Daza just wasn't able to come up with. Freeland had a spectacular play to save a base hit in the last inning anyway. He only has one strikeout on the day, but he's 65 pitches, 42 strikes. Pretty good strike-to-ball ratio today. And the Padres hitters are not allowing to work very deep into counts. I wonder if that's a strategy for the Padres as a whole, or if they're just seeing a lot of pitches that they think they can hit and just inducing weak contact. Either way, Freeland has been able to work his magic today. But Bogaerts, again, was 3 for 4 yesterday. Couple of doubles. Has not been able to reach as of yet today, but his average so far on the very young season is at 500. As they come back from commercial break. And here we go. First pitch by Freeland here to Bogaerts is beneath the zone. Off-speed pitch, well beneath the zone, and it's 1-0. Freeland set and delivers the 1-0. Right on the outside corner, absolute paint there. 1-1. This one's driven into the gap, gets down. Bryant is able to cut it off. But leadoff base hit here for Bogaerts here in the bottom of the sixth. Exactly what the doctor ordered for this Padres offense. Bogaerts is going to be the leadoff hitter, it looks like, this year for the Padres. Kind of the table setter. No more jerks in Profar there. He moved on to the Rockies, of course. He is not in the lineup today. Really surprised nobody picked him up. I think he only signed a 1-year, $7 million contract. Maybe a full year of improving his offensive numbers in Colorado, showing his numbers weren't exactly a fluke last year with San Diego. Maybe Profar hits free agency next year and gets another big bite at the apple. Imagine he's looking for probably 3-30 is probably what he was looking for this year. Maybe he'll get that next. Soto, with the infield fly rule in effect, is retired as Crone makes the catch. Bogaerts returns to first base. And it'll be up to Manny Machado to try to keep this thing going. Got double-barreled action out there in the Rockies bullpen. Two arms working rather quickly to try to loosen up just in case there is trouble. I imagine the base hit by Bogaerts really kind of instituted that quickly. Both a righty and a lefty are loosening out there. That pitch is right at the top of the zone on the inside corner. Machado doesn't like it, but it was right there. Another discussion between the home plate umpire and Manny Machado there. I wonder if he was asking more a question about where his foot was. Okay. Home plate umpire more than willing to have a discussion with players today. Not to show him up or anything like that, but it looks like he's more explaining things over and over and over again here early in the season. That one misses and it's 1-1. Maybe Machado thought he didn't have his foot in the batter's box yet. I don't know. Machado fouls this one back and it's quickly 1-2. Highest slugging percentage last year on pitches that were not fastballs. Manny Machado third in the league behind Alvarez and Trout. Slugging .638 last year against non-fastballs. Machado rolls over this one, stumbles out of the box, This is going to be a 6-4-3 double play, and that's quickly the end of the inning. Freeland is done. Looks like he might be done for the game as well, but 4 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Rockies through 6. No runs, 3 hits, no errors for the Padres. Well, we go to the final 3 innings here. Padres really having to get something going. Otherwise, they're going to be in trouble going down 0-2 here early in the season. You don't want to get out to a horrible start in any season, but against a team you're supposed to have some success against, you want to see at least some better effort offensively, some more productive at bats, and we haven't seen that as of yet. Curious to see if they go to the bullpen here for the Padres. Looks like it'll be Castro, Tovar, and Daza for the Rockies here in the top of the 7th. In action earlier today, as you can see. Right there, anyway. The Astros defeated the White Sox 6-3. Looks like the Mariners just put on a couple of runs against the Guardians, 3-3 in the bottom of the 3rd. That game looks to be moving a lot slower than this one so far, but they, of course, started a little later as well. Marlins defeated the Mets 2-1. And again, the Mets do not have Justin Verlander right now. He is on the IL. They actually made a move today to make that move official, sending Tyler McGill to take his spot in the rotation for right now. And it does look like it will be Nick Martinez back out there. He's at 84 pitches. A little bit surprised here, but he's probably the arm that's furthest along in camp for the Padres because of his experience in the WBC. Nice curveball there, finds the zone, and it's 0-1 here on Castro. If he's able to get him through 7 here, that would certainly be a good thing here for the Padres to save them some bullpen arms. Another one in the outside corner. It's quickly 0-2. Martinez working very quickly. Little tapper here. Cronenworth makes the play. Takes 2 steps and makes the out himself at first base. Through 6 1/3 right now. Martinez has 4 strikeouts on the day. Has 4 earned runs allowed, though. Couple runs in the first, couple runs on the homer by Blackman in the 5th. That's pretty much been everything that you've missed in the game so far if you're just joining us. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button as we're going to be bringing you pretty much a live game every single day the rest of the season. Feel free to join the communities. Enjoy the chat. Support the channel if you like by sending a super. Looks like we have 2 arms loosening slowly anyway in the Padres bullpen. Looks like Brent Honeywell is out there. This one misses well inside, and it's 2-1. Appreciate all 20 of you guys right now joining the channel, watching our stream. Really appreciate that. Nick Martinez trying to get through the 7th here. Give him some length out of that rotation to start the season. This one's rolled over to Bogarts. Flipped on to first, and we have 2 away. Martinez up to 90 pitches now. Highest pitch total was in that first inning at 23. Other than that, his highest pitch total since then has only been 14. So he's been very economical with his pitches. That one just off the plate but called a strike. Daza didn't like that one. He's 0 for 2 with a flyout. Just missed making a couple of spectacular catches out there in center against Kim as well. This one's lined hard into right, and it will fall in front of the right fielder. And he is aboard here with 2 away here in the top of the 7th. Just going the other way with it. Nice work there by their leadoff hitter. And it'll be up to Chris Bryant to keep this thing going, or do they decide to go to the bullpen here? That might be it for Martinez. We shall see. And it does look like we might have a pitching change. Nope, just a mound visit. Thought this might be it for Martinez. He's at 93 pitches. He's pitched well, given up the 4 earned runs, but still has done enough to at least keep his team relatively close. The offense just hasn't been able to do anything at all. Chris Bryant is 1 for 3 on the day. Gotta imagine this will certainly be the last hitter for Martinez, win, lose, or draw. First pitch here to Bryant. Nice breaking ball, 80 miles an hour, right on the outside corner, low and away. Blackman is due next. Looks like it's just Hill right now loosening. It had been Honeywell a moment ago. The pitch. This one bounces in front of the plate. Nice block there by the catcher. Daza stays there at first base. Bryant's gotten off to a nice start to the season. So is Charlie Blackman. This next one misses well inside, and it's now 2-1. This one foul tipped, and it's now 2-2. Martinez 1 strike away from getting out of the inning. Kind of a wave of a swing there by Bryant anyway. And we'll see if he can get the job done here. Taking a deep breath before he gets back on the mound. He's got 10 seconds left to throw the pitch. Something you hadn't seen before this year. Quickly makes up his mind as to what he wants to do and easily has time to make the decision. The throw on to second, but he was going to be safe there anyway. It's going to be a stolen base there for Daza, the first of the season for him, as the throw kind of bounded away from the second baseman. But Daza stayed there at second base. It'll be 3-2 now on Chris Bryant. Daza now in scoring position. Martinez set, and the 3-2 pitch. Lifted high and foul down the first base line, and we'll do it over again. This will be pitch number 100, I believe, for Nick Martinez. If you can get 7 innings here out of Martinez, he certainly has done more than his fair share today. Kind of an excuse me check swing there as it bounds back to the screen. Has a nice little laugh there with the catcher and the home plate umpire. Remains 3-2. The 3-2 hitch by Martinez. Swing and a miss down below the zone. And he gets him there. And we go to the bottom half of the 7th. Padres going to have to get something going. 4 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Rockies. No runs, 3 hits, no errors for the Padres. Appreciate you guys joining us again. We will have some baseball for you guys tomorrow. Leaning towards doing the White Sox and Astros game. We have a fair amount of White Sox fans among us. Got some Blue Jays fans with us as well, Cardinals fans. So it should be a nice slate of games, at least in the early window tomorrow. And then on Sunday, we'll have a doubleheader for you. We'll be doing the Yankees and Giants, Guardians and Mariners as well. Looks like the Dodgers are threatening in the bottom of the fourth against the Diamondbacks. Couple runners on with one out. Guardians trying to retake the lead in the top of the fourth with a runner on. Marlins defeated the Mets today 2-1. Saw a couple of transactions from around Major League Baseball today. Nick Solak goes from the Cincinnati Reds to the Seattle Mariners, giving them some versatility, infield depth, outfield depth as well. The other move we saw is the San Francisco Giants made a move for a catcher, bringing in Gary Sanchez. You might remember him from his time with the New York Yankees, Minnesota Twins last year, but he's latched on with that organization, has an opt-out in his contract for May 1st. If he's not been called up to the Major League roster, he can elect to become a free agent. I imagine they'd like to see his bat in that lineup a little bit. Giants had a very disappointing offseason, bringing in Michael Conforto, Mitch Haniger, Sean Manaea, pieces like that were all very nice pieces, but not the superstars that they were promised. For the second straight offseason, the Giants failed to deliver the top free agent that they're really targeting. It sounded like they were right there for Aaron Judge, I get it, but they failed to bring in Correa, they failed to bring in Bogarts, and just leave a lot to be desired anyway for a fan base that's been dying to have some type of superstar free agent to come in and wrap their arms around and try to build their future around that player. But it looks like Brent Suter's coming out of the bullpen for Kyle Freeland. 54 games last year, highly effective lefty. And it will be Nelson Cruz in the box, 0 for 2 on the day. Kind of a unique delivery for Suter. Cruz today is lined out and flied out, both times to right field, going the opposite way. That one finds the zone at the bottom, and it's quickly 1-2. Cruz yet to get the bat off his shoulder. Now he does, and taps it foul down the third base line, and will do it again. This game, again, moving very quickly. Game was scheduled to start around 8:40. I think we started around 8:40, 8:45, somewhere in there. But either way you cut it, we're right now crossing about the 1 hour, 40-minute mark. Swing and a miss there by Cruz, and so far things are looking more the same for Nelson Cruz's offensive struggles that started last year, started 2 years ago really, continued last year, seem to be more prevalent than ever before right now. Really mystified by what he was being offered there by Suter. Just wonder if it's just diminishing skills, not able to get the bat head out like he used to. Whatever it is, Nelson Cruz does not look like the old Nelson Cruz. The boomstick is not the boomstick anymore. Cronenworth 0 for 2, takes ball 1. Grounded out twice today. Lefty on lefty here. At the top of the zone, Cronenworth fouls it back to the screen, and it's quickly 1-1. This game is again moving very quickly with that pitch clock. Suter moving very quickly himself. This one below the zone, 2-1. After Cronenworth, it would be Nola. If they can continue to keep this inning going, the only player who's had real success offensively today has been Kim. Nice play there by the third baseman. A little pop-up to the third baseman. Diving play there, and he gets the out. 2 away here. And it will be up to the catcher, Nola. He is 0 for 2 today. Nice diving catch there, though, by Montero on the infield dirt. First pitch here, right down Broadway, and it's quickly 0-1. Just north of the zone, 1-1. Another one just off the plate inside at the top of the zone. The outer half of the plate to a right-handed hitter seems to be a little bit more generous as far as pitches being called a strike. This one's lifted high in the air behind third base. Third base and shortstop are both there. The shortstop Tovar makes the play in foul territory, and that's the end of the inning. Remember how I said games are moving quicker? Well, with the pitch clock, that half inning only took about, 3 minutes for 15 pitches? 4 minutes? We are through 7 innings already. 4-0 is the score. Rockies looking to get another upset here of the favorite Padres. Padres still haven't been able to get out of the doldrums offensively. It's been the story of the season so far for the Padres through 1.5 games. I expect them to right the ship at some point relatively quickly, though. They're too talented offensively to struggle this mightily against an inferior team. Sorry, Rockies fans, it's just the way it is. I mean, half of your lineup right now isn't necessarily, juggernauts, if you will. Guardians score a couple here in the top of the fourth to retake the lead against the Mariners. Now 5-3. Looks like Tim Hill is coming on. Nick Martinez's night is indeed done. I would certainly have made that same move if I was the manager for the Padres. Martinez certainly looked like he was done, reaching 100 pitches. Gave him everything he got. Good performance by Martinez today, even with the 4 runs allowed. It was still a good effort, allowing them to save that bullpen a little bit as well. Blackman 2 for 3 on the day, scored a couple of runs, had that 2-run home run in the 5th inning. Find it interesting that they have Mike Pomerantz as one of their studio people for the Padres, and Drew Pomerantz, is one of the relievers they gave all that money to a few years ago in free agency. He's been out and injured for the better part of the last 2 years, but he's still technically on the roster, so I don't know if there's a relation there, but makes me curious anyway. First pitch is a strike here to Blackman. Hill last year, 3-0 record, a 3.56 earned run average in 56 games, 48 innings worked. Kind of a sidewinder of a lefty. Wears number 25. Blackman, left-handed hitter against a left-handed pitcher here. The 0-1. It looks like it hit him on the elbow, and Blackman reaches for the 3rd time today. Leadoff man is aboard for the Rockies here in the top of the 8th. Certainly not what the Padres were drawing up for this inning. They wanted to get back into the dugout quickly so their offense could try to get right back out there again. But that literally hit him right on the elbow guard. Blackman wasn't searching out for it or anything, just that pitch never came down. Crone lifts this one foul down the first base line. About 25 rows back into the seats, and it's 0-1. The 0-1. Well north of the zone, sidewinder can't get command here early, it looks like. And it's 1-1. The pitch to Crone. Nice line drive into center. Grisham tries to bluff a catch on it, but no sale there, and it's going to be 2 on, nobody out here to lead things off here in the 8th inning for the Rockies. Got to imagine we could see a mound visit here. Settle down Hill, get his command a little bit better. He hasn't been able to hit the glove once so far. You can just see that catcher is just moving that glove all over the place, trying to get him to lock in on it. It's very wild with this command so far. And McMahon actually squares around for a minute, but takes strike one there. Again, runners on first and second. Already a 4-0 game. Rockies trying to add more to it. Swung on and missed again there, and it's quickly 0-2. Padres would really like to see a strikeout, maybe a double play ball here. Kind of jammed him. It lands in the batter's box. They're going to easily get the force there at third, and the runner is out at first as well. Curious to see if they rule this a fair ball, because it literally just went straight into the ground in the batter's box. I think they're ruling it a fair ball, and they're going to call it a double play. Nice alert play by the catcher there to get the lead runner there at third base. Machado, a strong throw across the diamond. Nice stretch by Cronenworth. Kind of an excuse me. It did roll into fair territory, so it is going to be a certified thing. Machado kind of backhands that ball with the glove. I think if he had barehanded it later in the season, that's probably an out. But this early in the season, he went for the surefire thing and not allowing the ball to get past him. And runners will now be on the corners with 2 away. Not sure if they're going to call this one a hit. I believe they will. Hill up to 9 pitches. Still very wild with his location. Looks like it's going to be Diaz up next. This one right on the inside corner, and it's 0-1. Nice pitch there by Hill. Curious to see if we see a steal here. Get another runner in scoring position with a 4-run lead already. Nice healthy hack by Diaz. Goes straight back to the screen as he fouls that one off, and it's quickly 0-2. Rockies leading 4-0 here in the top of the 8th with runners on the corners and a chance to do more damage against this Padres pitching staff. Pickoff attempt over to first. No tag even attempted there, and it's one pickoff move there. Now he's limited to one more. Allen's well outside, and it's 1-2. Again, Hill still very erratic with where his location is. He's thrown 9 strikes out of 13 pitches, don't get me wrong, but just hasn't been as successful as you would hope. That guy looked like he went all the way around, and they're not. Wow. That looked like he went 3/4 of the way around. It was a healthy hack as he tried to hold up. Maybe it was closer, but it still looks like he went around. Batter takes time this time. 2-2 now. The set by Hill and the pitch. Swung on and missed. Hill gets out of the jam here. Still 4-0 as we go to the bottom half of the 8th inning. It'll be Kim, Grisham, and Azokar for the Padres. Curious to see if we'll see a pinch hitter here like Matt Carpenter for Azokar. Get more of a professional hitter in there, especially with this lineup really struggling to get things going offensively. Anything to give them some type of a jolt would be what this Padres lineup needs at this point. They're being 3 hit right now. But through 7.5, it's only been about an hour 50 that we've gone so far. This game could easily be over here in the next 10-15 minutes or so. Could not have said that a year ago. Scores from around the league again. Houston knocking off the White Sox for their first victory of the season. Again, no Jose Altuve. That's going to be the thing for them. Are they going to be able to weather the storm, or are they going to, fall farther back in the standings and then have to gut their way through the rest of the season and see if they can climb their way back out of it? I think the latter is far more likely. Guardians leading 5-3 over the Mariners. Still scoreless out there in LA between the Dodgers and Diamondbacks. Marlins defeating the Mets earlier today 2-1. Looks like Brad Hand is coming on. He's bounced around the league the last couple of years as he's struggled with his command. His numbers at one point were among the most elite in all of baseball, but his days of being an elite reliever are certainly long behind him at this point. But maybe some lightning will be caught in a bottle here. Rockies have had some success with that before, Daniel Bard, etc. Bard, of course, is not healthy at the moment, getting injured in the WBC. But it'll be Kim, Grisham, and then I'm assuming a pinch hitter for Azokar here in the bottom half of the 8th. It's 4-0, 4 runs, 8 hits, no errors for the Rockies, no runs, 3 hits for the Padres, and no errors. Hand wears number 55, appeared in 55 games last year with a 2.8 earned run average in 45 innings of work. Does struggle with command from time to time, and his strikeout numbers certainly have fallen off over the past couple of years as he's starting to induce more contact than he has in the past. Only 38 strikeouts last year. Looks like there's a pitch comm issue between Hand and the catcher there. One of the few times you get to see the bat boy actually run the pitch communication device out there. Trejo is taken over there at third base for the Rockies after coming on as a pinch runner the last half inning. Looks like he might be able to get this thing going now. First pitch here by the lefty Hand. And, I mean, just misses the outside corner. Catcher didn't do him any favors by stabbing the ball down like this. But in either event, it is 1-0. Again, Kim's been the only one to be able to reach both times he's been up. He's 2 for 2 so far today. Allen right on the inside, or inner half of the plate, and it's 1-1. This one's lifted, blooped over short, and he is now 3 for 3. None of them have been particularly hard hit, but he's been able to find holes, and that's all you really need to do. Kim's off to a nice start to his season. You remember his first year in the majors was really tough for him, but last year he finally got some consistent playing time and started to perform a little bit better, occasionally leading off when Profar wasn't, or Grisham wasn't. This one really jammed him in on the hands, but just able to muscle that over the shortstop Tovar. And it'll be Grisham up. Takes low ball one as he's squared around a bunt. Not sure you want to sacrifice a batter here, especially with only 6 outs left to play with in the game. Grisham is 0 for 2 with a couple of flyouts. It is lefty on lefty here. Another one low and away. 2-0 now. Grisham looking for a pitch he can drive. Diamondbacks acquired, it looks like, Anthony Miskowitz from the Cardinals. He was the pitcher that was designated for assignment off the 25-man roster for the Cardinals when they called up their top prospect, Jordan Walker. Almost looked like he double hit it now that you see the replay of the hit by Kim. Once off the handle and once off the barrel almost. Fouled back, and it's quickly 2-2. Rockies leading 4-0 here in the bottom of the 8th. If you're just joining us, make sure you drop a like, hit that subscribe button, and make sure you join us as we're going to be bringing you live baseball throughout the entire season. Padres kind of mount some type of offense here for the first time in the game. Kim is 3 for 3. He led things off with a base hit here in the 8th. Grisham fouls this one back once again, and it remains 2-2. Grisham, of course, did not perform very well during the season last year. However, in the postseason, he was pretty much the only one, or I should say, one of the few clutch players they had last year offensively. He was able to come through time after time for them in the postseason. That one misses well inside, almost scrapes his jersey, but it is now 3-2 as Hand works the count full after getting the early, giving up the early base hit here in the inning. The 3-2 pitch, just off the outside corner, and the Padres now have a man in scoring position for the first time in seems like eternity anyway. 2 on, nobody out. And I'm very curious to see if we're going to have Matt Carpenter pinch hit here. Looks like they're going to have a mound visit here. Looks like they're still struggling with the pitch comm stuff. But in either event, looks like they've got things worked out now. Looks like it will be a Zokar. 0 for 2, a fly out and a ground out. Little surprised they're not going to go with the pinch hitter here. Go with a more veteran guy like Matt Carpenter. But it is the righty. He pops up a bunt attempt. Goes back to the screen. Maybe they just want to get him over for the big boppers behind him. That was a bad bunt attempt, though. Curious strategy here by Bob Melvin. Appreciate you guys joining us. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. It really does help us out. Hit that like button as well. The 0-1 pitch by Hand. Another square round for a bunt attempt, and this one he does get down. Easy play over to first base, and they do execute the sacrifice. It'll be 2 on, 1 out now, with Bogaerts, Soto, and Machado coming up. And it also gets them out of the double play as well. So, not the worst thing in the world, but still curious you didn't get somebody else up there rather than just sacrificing the out for 90 feet of real estate, especially when you're not down by 1 or 2 runs. You're down by 4 here in the bottom of the 8th. A little curious about that decision. But it will be Xander Bogaerts. First pitch right on the inside corner, but fouled right down the third base line. Nice hard hit ball. And it will be 0-1. Looks like the Mariners is drawn a little closer now. It's 5-4 in the bottom of the 4th of that one. We will be doing some Mariners baseball for you guys on Sunday and Monday, I believe. So if you are a Mariners fan, make sure to check us out. Hit that subscribe button. His career versus Brad Hand, he's 2 for 5 with a double and 3 RBIs. Fouls this one off down the first base line and quickly down 0-2 now. Up to about 36 of y'all right now. Appreciate that. Thank you guys for joining us. The 0-2 pitch here to Bogaerts. Had a nice start to his year so far with the Padres. Couple of doubles last night. That one misses well down and in. And it's 1-2 now. It would be Soto next. Still looking for his first hit of the season. He came into the year as one of the MVP favorites among many analysts out there. He did work a walk earlier today. He awaits in the on-deck circle. The 1-2 pitch. This one jams Bogaerts. It might be deep enough. Could it fall? Could it fall? And this time Daza does make the catch, though, in center. Bogaerts is retired. Kim scores. Grisham is going to stand his ground at second base, but at least the shutout is done. Padres scratch across their first run of the game. Daza, if you missed it earlier today, Tried to make a couple of spectacular plays against Kim, just couldn't get there in time, and Kim was able to get a couple of base hits off of him. But this time, Daza, kind of in no man's land, is able to make the catch as three Rocky defenders kind of came together there. Nice sliding catch. Kim was standing on third base waiting for either the catch or for it to drop in, either one, but it will be up to Juan Soto for this inning to continue. This one's right at the bottom of the zone, and he absolutely did not like that call. 0-1. But it was right there. Slider right at the bottom of the zone, 81 mile an hour. The 0-1 pitch. Another slider, this one up and away, but foul down the third base line. Is there enough room for Trejo to get there? No. In the seats about 5-6 rows back. The shutout is over. Rockies now lead 4-1. Juan Soto is up right now, but 2 outs. 0-2 count now. Manny Machado waiting on deck. To be followed by Nelson Cruz, should they be able to get this inning to continue. Tough matchup here with Brad Hand, the lefty, against the lefty Soto. That one down low. And it's 1-2. Hand up to 20 pitches so far in this one. Or 19 pitches. This will be his 20th pitch of the game. He's had some issues with the pitch comm. I'm wondering if they're still having that same issue. The 1-2 pitch. Well off the outside corner. Looks like he missed a little bit with his command. Looks like that's where they were trying to throw it, but he missed a little too far outside to make that an enticing pitch for Soto to try to swing at outside the zone. It's now even, 2-2. The set and the pitch. Right on the outside corner. This time he actually is a little lenient with that outside corner. He hasn't really been giving that pitch today to the left-handed hitter. He's been giving it all day to the righty, but Soto is down looking, and that's the end of the threat there for the Padres. Looks like that might be their best chance right there. But as it stands right now, we're through 8 innings, 4 runs, 8 hits for the Rockies, and only 1 run across the board for the Padres. Got a decent effort from Nick Martinez to be able to give them 7 innings out of the bullpen. Hill came in and worked a scoreless 8th. And then it looks like Luis Garcia is coming on to pitch the 9th for the Padres. Welcome in, Omar. Appreciate you for joining us. I still think San Diego's a pretty good team. So as I mentioned, they're still my pick to win the World Series. I'm expecting them to eventually get the ship righted. But the Rockies are the type of team that should find some early success because of their ability to have younger players that are used to the pitch clock and used to the cadence of the game, while the Padres players are going to have to get used to that since a lot of their roster is a lot more of a veteran leadership type of a group. But I expect them to find their stride pretty quickly here. They are my pick to win the division after all. They are my pick to win the World Series. There is, of course, the caveat that are they able to stay healthy, and is that pitching rotation able to stay healthy? And already they have Joe Musgrove on the IL. But it'll be Castro leading off for the Rockies, to be followed by Tovar and Daza. Nice work there by Brad Hand, getting out of a jam, only allowing the 1 run. Will be a save situation for whoever the Rockies bring out of the bullpen. Daniel Bard has functioned as their closer in the past. Haven't seen who they ended up putting as their closer with him on the IL. Looks like Luis Garcia is just about ready. Last year's 64 games, a 4-6 record, a 339 earned run average in 61 innings pitched. Gave up 17 walks, but those strikeout numbers were sterling at 68. Only gave up 3 homers, and opponents hit 243 off of him last year. First pitch from Garcia, really down and in, but Castro unable to lay off, and it's quickly 0-1. Just an ugly hack there by Castro on an even uglier pitch. Kind of an overthrow there. Kind of excitement, I guess, of getting into the game. Good pitch there on the outside corner. Foul tipped into the catcher's mitt, and it's quickly 0-2. Padres trying to get back into that dugout quickly to see if they can get some offensive momentum going off of their success last inning. This one well off the outside corner, 1-2. If you guys are just joining us, make sure you drop a like on the video. It really does help us out. Thank you very much in advance. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button as well. We'll be bringing you live baseball throughout the season, as this one's lifted down the line, down the third base line, and Soto is there for the out, and there is one away here in the top of the ninth. It'll be Tovar next, 1 for 3. Remember, he has taken over at short for Brendan Rodgers, who is going to start the season on the 60-day IL, I believe. I haven't seen what his injury actually was, but in either event, a player they're really hoping to have to see some strides from offensively, much like Ryan McMahon anyway. But they will not have him to start this season anyway. Garcia misses badly again there, and it's 1-0. Tomorrow we'll be doing the White Sox and Astros game early, so make sure you join us. And then on Sunday we'll have a doubleheader for you guys. It'll be Yankees and Giants, followed by the Guardians and Mariners. For those of you who are Mariners fans, we will also have the Mariners on Monday against the Angels. Tuesday we'll have the Arizona Diamondbacks versus, I want to say, San Diego. Rangers versus Baltimore, a doubleheader on Tuesday for you guys. Wednesday we will have Toronto versus, is it Seattle? Is that another Mariners game we're doing? Toronto versus somebody, I can't remember who, on Wednesday. The 1-2 pitch here to Tovar is in the dirt, low and away, and it's 2-2. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at UpsideSN. Hit that subscribe button. You'll be notified whenever we do go live, as we'll be covering quite a few games this year. You guys are more than welcome to join our chat. This one's fouled down the first base line once again. Still 2-2. Time of the game so far, we're right about the 2-hour and 10-minute mark. Right on the inside corner, Tovar was hoping that one would go his way. Garcia was looking to throw that one low and away. Missed his spot, but still was able to get the strike 3 call on Tovar, and there are 2 away. It's up to Daza to keep this inning going. Takes ball 1 low and away. Looks like robo-umps would probably have called that one a strike as well. In the last pitch to Tovar there anyway. Bryant is on deck should this inning continue, and then Blackman, who does have the home run in the game, would be next after Bryant. The 1-0 is tapped foul, 1-1. Garcia set, and the pitch. Swung on and missed. Little late on that one, 96-mile-an-hour fastball, and it's 1-2. Kind of surprised they didn't call strike 3 on Daza for not getting in the box quick enough. Looks like they were literally about to. That one just off the plate inside. Garcia wanted that one, had taken a few steps towards the dugout. Whereas Servin, that guy's better than any other catcher. Well, you got Nola behind the plate right now for the Padres. There's a lot of good catchers, though, in Major League Baseball right now. Defensive catchers, I should say. Catching as a whole offensively has been down for years. Little tapper out to short. Bogart's unable to wrangle it, and it gets into left center. Daza gets a base hit here and continues the inning for the Rockies, trying to get back that run they just gave up in the bottom of the 8th. It'll be Bryant followed by Blackman here if they can keep it going. Just under the glove of Bogarts. He got some leather on it, but not much. Guardians putting a crooked number up on the board against the Mariners right now. It's now 7-4 in the top of the 5th. Right at the bottom of the zone. Beautiful pitch there by Garcia. Fastball at the bottom. Right at the knees anyway. Bryant taken all the way. Bryant 1 for 4 with a strikeout today. Hitting .444 on this young season. This one misses up and in, and it's 1-1. Welcome back, Jose. I agree. I just think the Padres are going to need some time to get this lineup going, but you don't necessarily want to drop games to teams that you should be beating. I mean, they do have a better team than the Colorado Rockies, both pitching and hitting, and they just haven't been able to put it together in either game so far. It's now 2-1 to Chris Bryant. I think their lineup kind of does need a spark. Tatis, if they are struggling to the point where they're like, 7-14, 3 weeks into the season, when they do get Tatis Jr., bringing in a spark like that could really jolt them out of whatever doldrums they may be having early on in the year. I'm not too worried about them, though. I still think they're going to be an easy 95-plus win team this year. 3-1 here to Bryant, and that one misses beneath the zone, and it's a 5-pitch walk. Runners on first and second now for Charlie Blackman. Curious to see if we see a mound visit here for Garcia. Dawes is out there on second. Bryant out there on first. Looks like we do see a mound visit here. Blackman 2 for 3 on the day. Scored a couple of runs. He's been hit by a pitch. Had a 2-run homer back in the 5th. Kind of a dangerous moment for here for the Padres if they want any chance of coming back in the bottom of the 9th. They do have Machado leading it off. They're going to need to get out of this jam right now. Nola sets the infield defense. Gets back behind the plate. And we are ready to go. Swing and a miss at that one beneath the zone, and it's 0-1. Kind of came out of his shoes just a little bit on that one. Can't really blame him. Trying to put up another crooked number on the board. See if he can get another blast. Longtime Colorado Rockies player, leadoff hitter for much of that time. Very productive hitter. That one misses well inside. Garcia continuing to struggle with his location. Swing and a miss anyway. Nice off-speed pitch there by Garcia, and it's 1-2. One strike away from getting out of this jam. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you guys for liking the video. Appreciate that. The 1-2 pitch bounces in the dirt and gets away from Nola. Dawes, I think, is going to third. No, he stayed at second. That pitch got plenty far enough away from Nola. He should have been able to get to third. I get it, it's 2 outs. You don't want to make the final out at third, but Anything to get another run across at this point. Padres are a tough team to beat. You can't count out their offense at any point. I mean, it's still a 3-run lead, and you're only got 1 inning left, but still. Nice off-speed pitch just off the outside corner there, and Garcia gets the swing and a miss from Blackman. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Rockies looking to close this one out. Guardians extend their lead there, as you can see, 8-4 now on top of the Mariners. Let's check in on that one real quick here. Looks like the Mariners have made a pitching change already. Dodgers just take the 1-0 lead there. Looks like Robbie Ray got the start, gave up 5 runs, 3 earned. Gott came out of the bullpen, 1 1/3, gave up 3 earned. And now Murphy is in anyway, facing Jose Ramirez. Quan has 5 RBIs in the game. Very nice. Jimenez has scored 3 runs. All right, let's set the table for the bottom of the 9th. It does look like Pierce Johnson is going to be the closer for now for the Colorado Rockies. I believe he came over from the Padres, honestly. He will face Machado, who is 0 for 3 today. Struggling much like the rest of this team offensively through the first couple of games of the season. To be followed by Cruz and Cronenworth. Kyle Freeland was dominant on the mound for the Rockies today. Had a nice defensive play there as well. Player of the game for me would probably be Charlie Blackman and Kyle Freeland. If the Padres are able to come back, it'll be whoever ends up getting the big hit in this one. But for me, that's kind of where things stand right now. Can't count out the Padres, though. You're literally looking at the 3, 4, 5 in this lineup. Machado gets on. Cruz gets a base hit. Cronenworth gets a blast. You're looking at a tie ball game. Last year, Pierce Johnson in 15 games, a 1-2 record, a 5.02 earned run average in 14 1/3 innings, 8 walks and 21 strikeouts. Gave up 1 homer, and his opponent average was .250. But he's going up against a little stout competition here to start. Manny Machado is no slouch as a player, fresh off that contract extension he signed at the beginning of the season, or before the beginning of the season anyway, with the San Diego Padres. That'll keep him in town for pretty much the rest of his career. First pitch right at the top of the zone, does not get the strike call though. 1-0. Another one does not get the strike call. Both of those were inside the zone according to the pitch tracks, if you will. So robo-umps would have this count 0-2, not 2-0. That one again would have been strike 3, but again doesn't get the call from the home plate umpire. It's now 3-0 to Manny Machado. I don't know if he's squeezing him all of a sudden or not, but that's what it looks like. Not given that high strike call. Now right on the outside corner to the right-handed hitter. That one's been a strike all day long. 3-1 now is the count. Curious to see if they go right back to that well on the outside corner. Nelson Cruz waits in the on-deck circle. Off-speed pitch there. Swing and a miss by Machado. It's now 3-2. Pierce Johnson's pitched well enough in this at-bat to already have a strikeout and a half. Just hasn't been getting the calls from behind the dish anyway. It's going to be a time called by Manny Machado here to readjust everything. Thank you guys for joining us. Appreciate that. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Thank you very much. The 3-2 pitch here to Machado. Popped foul, and we'll do it over again. Machado probably the best hitter left in this lineup that Pierce Johnson's probably going to face right now. Bogarts and Soto made were the last two players to hit in the last half inning, so it'll be quite the lineup turn if they get that far in there. Probably be looking at a walk-off situation if we get that far. Fouled off again by Machado. Machado staying tough here. The 3-2 pitch. Hard hit to third base. This is off the glove of Trejo and rolls away. Machado is going to be safe at first, and the Padres have something cooking here in the bottom of the ninth. Trejo unhappy with himself. I'm not sure if he would even had a play at first base either way, but Manny Machado is going to be safe there at first base. Good hard contact to third. Trejo did a good job knocking it down, but I think he should have been able to make a better play on that as it kind of just snuck underneath his glove. Probably still called that a hit, but a play that shouldn't have been able, or at least should have had a throw over to first. Cruz takes a fastball up and away right at the top of the zone, and it's 0-1. Cruz 0 for 3, line out and a fly out to right, and struck out in his last at bat. Cruz jammed on this one, off speed, low and in, and then quickly 0-2 again. See if Cruz can right the ship offensively here. Been a very clutch player through all the years. We'll see if he avoids the double play ball here more than anything else. The pitch by Johnson. Popped up. Looks like this will be the infield fly rule once again as it drifts into foul territory. And he is retired. One away here in the bottom of the ninth. It'll be Cronenworth followed by Nola and Kim. Kim is 3 for 3 on the day. Padres would love to get that far into the lineup. Got 50 of y'all with us right now. Thank you guys for joining us. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Really does help us out. Thank you very much. Cronenworth is up 0 for 3, couple of groundouts and a pop out. Left-handed hitter against the righty Johnson. Off speed on the outside corner. That pitch hasn't been called a strike often in this game to a left-handed hitter, but he gets the call there. 0-1. Now to righties, that same pitch on the outside corner has been called a strike all day long. It's just lefties that haven't been getting that same call. This one tapped foul right off the foot of the catcher. And it's going to be quickly 0-2 here. Padres needing to keep this inning going. Need to string together some base hits more than anything else as they're down 3. Home plate umpire walks the ball all the way out to the pitcher. Welcome in, Mariano. Pierce Johnson, the revenge. True. Got to say, the way this home plate umpire has managed or been able to umpire this game, referee this game, etc., has been very different than I've seen other umpires do in the past, especially with all the rule changes. I get how he's doing it. Kind of appreciate the way this umpire has been handling this game so far. This one misses a 95-mile-an-hour heater up and in. Cronenworth stands his ground, and it's 1-2. Pierce Johnson set. The pitch off the outside corner by about 3-4 inches. Not close enough to really get any interest from Cronenworth to try to attempt to swing. But it's now 2-2. Machado's there at first base. Looks like Matt Carpenter has come on into the on-deck circle for Nola. The 2-2 pitch by Johnson. Swing and a miss. Down low, Cronenworth chases strike 3 there. And the Padres are down to their final out. It'll be up to Matt Carpenter to get things going, or keep things going, if you will. Carpenter got the start on opening day over Nelson Cruz. Cronenworth just couldn't lay off that pitch low. Yeah, they've done a really nice job today, the Rockies have. But this offense, I think, will look a lot different once you get to the middle of the season, once they've had time to get their reps in, once they're used to the new cadence of the pitch clock, all those kinds of things. I think they're still trying to get themselves ready for the season, honestly. I mean, their offense has struggled through 2 games, Bogaerts and Kim. Bogaerts in the first game, Kim so far today. Strike 1 on the outside corner. Defensive indifference as Machado moves to second. That one was a tough pitch for Carpenter. That one, again, hasn't been called a strike often today. Nice off-speed pitch at the lower half of the zone. And it's quickly 0-2. Carpenter, of course, had that huge impact for New York last year with all those home runs right when he got called up to the majors. Changed his entire swing path, etc. Now wears a mustache. Signed with the Padres here in free agency. The 0-2 swung on and missed, chased a ball there, bounced in the dirt, the throw on to first to complete the strikeout, and the ball game is over. 4-1 the final score. Rockies again take the second game of the season from the Padres. Padres begin the season 0-2, looking to salvage the series against the Rockies, I believe, the rest of the way. But great start to the season for the Rockies. They begin 2-0 and lead the NL West right now. So congratulations to you Rockies fans. Looks like you guys are off to a great start. Let us know in the comments section who you guys want us to do more games of as we go the rest of the way. Again, tomorrow we surprisingly will be able to do a game for you guys. It'll be the White Sox and the Astros tomorrow, so make sure you join us for that. On Sunday, we'll be doing the Yankees and Giants. We'll also have the Guardians and Mariners. On Monday, we'll be doing the Angels and Mariners as well. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Follow us on Twitter at UpsideSN. Really appreciate all the support, all the likes on the video, all the new subscribers we've gained over the past couple of days. But keep it here with us at the Upside Sports Network. We'll keep you guys up to date on all the latest from Major League Baseball, the NFL, the NBA, and the NHL. And make sure you hit that subscribe button. Follow us on Twitter. You'll be notified when we do go live for any one of these games. And we really appreciate all the support. So if you guys are new here to the Upside, send us a comment. Say hey. Make sure you join the chat. And we really do appreciate the support. Thank you guys for joining us again on a Friday evening. We'll see you guys tomorrow afternoon. And y'all have a great evening.